Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to talk to every soul that has ever been made to feel like an option, like you were just a backup plan, a temporary fix, or something replaceable. I know how that feels. I know how it breaks you, shakes your self-worth, and makes you question your own value. But listen to me. Your worth is not defined by how someone else treats you. You gave your heart, your time, your energy. You gave it all because you believed in love, in loyalty, and in the power of commitment. You were left wondering why you weren't enough. You asked yourself, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I chosen? But darling, the problem was never with you. The problem was with the person who failed to see your worth. When someone treats you like an option, it says nothing about your value, but everything about their inability to appreciate it. You see, some people are so used to chasing temporary thrills that they don't recognize the beauty of something real, something lasting. But don't you dare let that break you. Don't you dare lose yourself trying to be enough for someone who doesn't see your brilliance. It's time to stop waiting for people to realize your worth. Instead, start recognizing it yourself. When you shift your focus from seeking validation to embodying self-respect, the world around you changes. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone who doesn't value you. You don't need to beg for the love that's meant to be given freely. Walk away from people who make you feel like an option. Walk away from those who don't honor your presence. And when they finally realize what they lost, when they come back searching for what they took for granted, stand firm. Let them feel the absence of your grace, your kindness, your unwavering support. Let them feel the pain of losing someone rare. Because that's who you are. Because that's who you are. Reclaim into purpose. Let your heartbreak be the fuel that drives you to greatness. One day, they will look back and realize that losing you was the biggest mistake they ever made. But by then, you will have moved on, stronger, wiser, and undeniably unstoppable. You are not an option. You are a priority. Embrace that truth and let it guide you to the life you truly deserve. Self-worth is the foundation of our identity, and it's one of the most powerful realizations we can have. It's the deep understanding that your value doesn't come from external validation, opinions, or approval. It comes from within, from knowing who you are and embracing every part of yourself, flaws and all. There's a profound sense of liberation that comes when you stop looking for validation from others and start valuing yourself. Many of us grow up in environments that teach us to seek approval, to be liked, accepted, and validated by others. We learn to equate our worth with how well we fit into societal expectations or how much praise we receive. This mindset becomes deeply ingrained, and we often don't even realize how much we've internalized it. But when you constantly seek validation, you hand over your power to others. You allow their opinions to shape how you view yourself. And that's a fragile way to live. There comes a moment in life when you realize that living for validation is exhausting. You try to fit into different molds, adjust your personality, and hide your true feelings just to be accepted. But the problem with this approach is that it leaves you feeling empty and unfulfilled. You lose sight of who you really are because you're too busy being who others want you to be. That's not living, that's surviving. That's surviving. Self-worth means standing firm in your identity without needing others to confirm it for you. It means waking up every morning and choosing to honor yourself, regardless of how anyone else perceives you. You don't need someone to tell you that you're enough. You already are. You don't need someone to reassure you that you're worthy. You were born worthy. This understanding transforms your life because it shifts your focus from pleasing others to honoring yourself. When you know your worth, you set boundaries without guilt. You no longer feel the need to overextend yourself to keep people happy. You stop tolerating disrespect and mistreatment because you understand that loving yourself means not allowing others to hurt you. You start prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. This doesn't make you selfish, it makes you wise. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and taking care of yourself is not just a necessity, it's a responsibility. Self-worth doesn't mean arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It means respecting yourself enough to know what you deserve. It's about choosing peace over chaos, growth over comfort, and authenticity over pretense. You don't need to broadcast your value or prove it to anyone. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to be loud or flashy because it's rooted in something deeper, an unwavering belief in yourself. It's not easy to develop this mindset, especially if you spent years doubting your own value. It requires a conscious effort to unlearn the patterns of seeking approval and validation. Start by asking yourself some honest questions. Are you living for yourself, or are you living to be accepted by others? Do your actions reflect your values, or are they shaped by the fear of being judged? These questions may be uncomfortable, but they're essential for growth. Take time to reconnect with yourself. Get to know who you are beyond your achievements, titles, and relationships. Reflect on what makes you happy and what brings you peace. Invest in your own growth, not just in terms of career or success, but in personal development and inner healing. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not those who drain your energy. Choose relationships that nourish your soul and inspire your spirit. Healing from years of self-doubt doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires patience and self-compassion. You will have days when insecurity creeps back in, but that's okay. Acknowledge those moments without judgment. Remind yourself that you're a work in progress, and growth is never a linear path. Celebrate your small victories, and don't be too harsh on yourself when setbacks occur. Affirmations can be powerful tools on this journey. Speak kindly to yourself even when no one else does. Tell yourself that you are worthy, loved, and deserving of all good things. The words you speak to yourself matter because they shape your mindset and influence how you perceive the world around you. Make self-affirmation a daily habit, write it down. Say it aloud, and let it become part of your routine. Life becomes beautiful when you're not constantly seeking validation. You feel lighter because you're no longer carrying the burden of others' expectations. You experience joy more deeply because it's rooted in self-acceptance rather than external approval. You feel empowered because you've taken control of your own narrative. No one can take that away from you because it's yours to hold, nurture, and protect. Embrace your worth without apology. Stand firm in who you are and never shrink yourself to make someone else comfortable. You have every right to occupy space, to be bold, to dream big, and to live unapologetically. Your self-worth is not up for negotiation. It is your birthright, and it's time to own it without hesitation. When you truly understand your worth, you'll realize that your happiness, peace, and confidence were never meant to be handed over to anyone else. They belong to you. Oh. Choose yourself, honor your journey, and let your light shine unapologetically. You are enough, today, tomorrow, and always. Sometimes, life takes us through experiences that break us down and leave us questioning our own worth. It's human nature to search for reasons when someone treats us poorly or when we're left feeling undervalued. Our first instinct is often to blame ourselves, to analyze every word we said, every action we took, wondering if somehow we caused the pain inflicted upon us. But the truth is, not every hardship is a reflection of our shortcomings. Sometimes it's a lesson wrapped in pain, teaching us to grow, to rise, and to reclaim our sense of self. When someone mistreats you or takes you for granted, it's easy to spiral into self-blame. You might think you weren't good enough, that you failed to meet expectations, or that you somehow caused the mistreatment. But assigning blame to yourself for someone else's actions only deepens the wound. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and guilt that serves no purpose but to break your spirit. Instead of blaming yourself, choose to reflect on what the experience taught you. Reflection, not blame, is the path to healing and growth. Reflection means looking inward with compassion and understanding. It means asking yourself how the experience made you feel and why it affected you so deeply. Were you expecting loyalty and found betrayal instead? Were you hoping for understanding but met with indifference? Allow yourself to feel the hurt without judgment. Embrace your vulnerability and remind yourself that being affected by someone's actions does not make you weak. It makes you human. Through reflection, you begin to see the patterns that shape your response. Maybe you were too willing to give without receiving the same effort in return. Perhaps you overlooked red flags because you hoped for the best or believed in someone's potential rather than their reality. These realizations aren't about blaming yourself. They're about recognizing the ways you allowed your kindness to be taken for granted. It's not a flaw to be generous, but it's essential to set boundaries that protect your heart. One of the most powerful outcomes of reflection is self-awareness. You learn to understand your triggers, your fears, and your tendencies to hold on to people even when they don't value you. It's not about being hard on yourself or dwelling on mistakes. It's about learning to nurture your well-being. It's about recognizing that you deserve respect, loyalty, and love without conditions. Reflection helps you regain your strength by giving you insight into your own needs and how to honor them moving forward. When you shift from blame to reflection, you reclaim your power. You stop giving away your sense of worth to those who fail to appreciate it. You learn to separate your identity from the way others treat you. Just because someone failed to see your value does not mean it wasn't there all along. Your worth isn't diminished by someone's inability to recognize it. Reflection also helps you develop resilience. You become more mindful of the patterns that no longer serve you. You start recognizing when your kindness is being exploited, or when your trust is being manipulated. You learn to discern genuine intentions from hollow promises. This newfound awareness empowers you to protect your peace without feeling guilty for choosing yourself. Part of reflecting without blaming yourself means practicing forgiveness, not necessarily for those who wronged you, but for yourself. Forgive yourself for staying too long, for giving too much, for not walking away sooner. Let go of the guilt that lingers long after the hurt has faded. Forgiveness is not about excusing the pain or justifying poor treatment. It's about releasing yourself from the emotional burden that keeps you stuck in the past. Reflection also teaches you to take accountability where it's necessary without crossing into self-blame. But if you recognize that you allowed certain behaviors to continue, acknowledge it with kindness. Growth means admitting when you fail to protect yourself, not as a means of guilt, but as a commitment to change. You learn to set boundaries without apologizing for needing them. You become more assertive in advocating for your well-being and more confident in saying no to what doesn't serve you, to what doesn't serve you. The goal of reflection is not to dwell on the hurt, but to rise above it. It's about embracing your journey without being defined by the moments that broke you. You grow stronger because you choose to learn rather than stay stuck. Your story is not one of defeat but of triumph because you chose to look inward and reclaim your power. There will always be moments when memories resurface and the pain tries to make a comeback. In those moments, remind yourself how far you've come. Acknowledge your progress and celebrate your strength. You didn't just survive, you transformed. Your spirit was tested, but it didn't break. You emerged wiser, more aware, and more grounded in your own worth. Every experience you go through has a purpose. Some teach you to love deeper, while others teach you to protect your heart. Some teach you to be kinder to yourself, while others remind you of your strength. Embrace every chapter because they all shape the resilient person you're becoming. Reflection is about taking those lessons and building a life where you choose yourself unapologetically. You deserve peace, love, and respect. Deserve to be valued without having to fight for acknowledgement. Let reflection be your guide as you move forward, stronger and more self-assured than ever before. You owe it to yourself to embrace your journey with grace without blaming yourself for the lessons learned along the way. There is a profound power in knowing when to walk away. It's not an act of weakness or defeat. It's an act of strength, courage, and self-respect. Walking away with dignity means choosing yourself when staying only leads to more pain. It means honoring your worth when someone else fails to see it. It's one of the hardest decisions to make, but it's also one of the most liberating. Choosing to walk away requires immense courage because it means leaving behind what was once familiar and comfortable. It means stepping into the unknown, unsure of what lies ahead. But sometimes staying only prolongs your suffering. You find yourself holding on to hope that things will change, that people will suddenly see your value or start treating you better. Yet the reality is that people rarely change unless they choose to, and your endless patience does not guarantee their transformation. Dignity is not about proving a point or showing that you're unaffected. It's about quietly deciding that you deserve better. It's about saying goodbye to situations that no longer nurture your soul. You don't need loud declarations or public affirmations. Your decision to walk away speaks volumes without needing an explanation. You are choosing peace over chaos, self-respect over validation, and inner growth over stagnation. Walking away with dignity also means leaving without bitterness or spite. It's natural to feel hurt or even angry when you realize you weren't valued the way you deserved. But dignity lies in letting go of resentment and not allowing it to consume you. Holding on to bitterness only keeps you tied to the pain, while walking away allows you to reclaim your freedom. You do not need to carry the burden of what went wrong or fixate on how unfairly you were treated. Release it. Let it go. Free yourself from the weight of it all. Sometimes, walking away means leaving behind people you once thought would be in your life forever. It could be a friendship that has turned toxic, or a relationship that has lost its respect and warmth. It could even be a dream you've clung to that is no longer aligned with who you are becoming. In every case, the decision to walk away doesn't mean you failed. It means you're choosing to honor your own growth. There will be moments when self-doubt creeps in, whispering that maybe you made a mistake or gave up too easily. But remember that dignity means trusting your instincts and knowing when enough is enough. You have the right to protect your heart and prioritize your well-being. No one else will do it for you. If staying means compromising your values or diminishing your self-worth, then walking away is not only the right choice, but the necessary one. The beauty of walking away with dignity is that it allows you to preserve your integrity. You don't have to lower yourself to anger, pettiness, or revenge. You don't need to make dramatic exits or prove a point to anyone. Instead, you choose silence over confrontation, peace over chaos, and self-respect over desperation. You don't need to convince anyone why you're leaving or justify your choice. The strength lies in knowing that you owe yourself the respect you were not given. After you walk away, it's important to give yourself time to heal. Healing is not instantaneous. It's a process that requires patience and self-compassion. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that come up. Grief, sadness, even relief. Let yourself mourn the dreams that didn't come to fruition and the expectations that weren't met. This is not weakness. It's part of the process of letting go. Surround yourself with positive influences, friends and loved ones who remind you of your strength and resilience. Engage in activities that reignite your passion and bring you joy. Rediscover who you are without the weight of the past holding you down. Walking away creates space for new beginnings, for rediscovering your potential, and for healing in ways you never thought possible. One of the most powerful outcomes of walking away with dignity is the sense of empowerment that follows. You realize that you are not defined by the situations or relationships you left behind. Your worth remains intact, untouched by the opinions of those who failed to appreciate you. You learn to love yourself a little more because you chose to put your own well-being first. In time, you'll see that walking away was not just a choice, but a declaration of self-respect. You'll realize that by leaving behind what no longer served you, you made room for better opportunities and healthier connections. You'll find yourself more grounded, more resilient, and more aware of what you truly deserve. Walking away does not mean giving up. It means valuing yourself enough to seek peace rather than conflict. It means acknowledging that staying would have only deepened the hurt and eroded your sense of self. You are not abandoning anyone or anything. You are simply choosing to honor your journey and protect your heart. As you move forward, carry with you the lesson that your dignity is worth more than any relationship or situation that makes you feel small. You are worthy of respect, love, and kindness. You are deserving of spaces where you are valued and celebrated. And when you walk away with dignity, you are not just leaving behind pain. You are stepping into the power of your own self-worth. Let go of what no longer aligns with your growth. Release the need for explanations or apologies. You do not need anyone's permission to choose yourself. Stand tall, walk away, and know that your dignity is a reflection of the unwavering strength within you. You are stronger than the pain, and you are worthy of the peace that follows. Reclaiming your power is an act of courage, a conscious decision to take back control of your life and your narrative. It's about realizing that your worth doesn't depend on how others perceive you or how they choose to treat you. It's about stepping out of the shadows of doubt and into the light of self-belief. Your power has always been within you. It just got buried under the weight of expectations, judgments, and past hurts. Now is the time to uncover it, embrace it, and let it guide you forward. Taking back your power means acknowledging that you are responsible for your own happiness. It means recognizing that no one else holds the key to your fulfillment. Too often, we give away our power by allowing external circumstances to dictate our emotions. We let setbacks break our spirit and people's opinions shape our confidence. But when you decide to reclaim your power, you make a conscious choice to stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the author of your own story. The first step in reclaiming your power is letting go of the past. You cannot move forward while carrying the weight of past mistakes, regrets, or betrayals. So acknowledge what happened, accept the lessons it taught you, and then release it. Holding on to past pain only keeps you trapped in a cycle of bitterness and self-pity. Instead, choose to see it as a chapter that shaped you but does not define you. You are not your failures or your heartbreaks. You are the person who survived them and grew stronger because of them. Forgiveness plays a vital role in reclaiming your power, not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. Sometimes, the hardest forgiveness to grant is to the person staring back at you in the mirror. You might blame yourself for trusting too easily, for giving too much, or for not walking away sooner. Let go of that blame. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Holding on to guilt only diminishes your spirit. Easy. Forgive yourself for the choices you made when you were just trying to find your way. Reclaiming your power also means setting boundaries and sticking to them. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines that define how you deserve to be treated. They protect your peace, your energy, and your emotional well-being. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Your time and energy are precious, and not everyone deserves unrestricted access to them. Boundaries teach people how to respect you because they demonstrate that you respect yourself. Stand firm in your boundaries, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Those who truly value you will honor them. Taking back your power also involves redefining your self-worth. Stop measuring your value by how much you do for others or how much you're needed. You are inherently worthy, not because of your productivity or your ability to please others, but because you exist as a unique, valuable human being. Practice self-affirmation. Speak kindly to yourself and counter negative thoughts with words of encouragement and love. When self-doubt creeps in, remind yourself of the battles you've fought and the strength you've shown. You are more powerful than you realize, and it's time to embrace that truth. Reclaiming your power means choosing to live authentically. Stop apologizing for being yourself or dimming your light to make others comfortable. Embrace your quirks, your passions, and your unique perspective. Authenticity is magnetic. It draws the right people and opportunities into your life while repelling what no longer aligns with your path. Be unapologetically yourself, because there is nothing more powerful than living in alignment with your true essence. It's also essential to reclaim your dreams and ambitions. Sometimes, life's challenges make you forget the dreams you once held close to your heart. You get caught up in surviving and forget to thrive. Reconnect with your aspirations and reignite your passion. What is it that sets your soul on fire? What dreams have you pushed aside because you thought they were too far out of reach to dream again? Take small, deliberate steps toward those goals. The journey might be long and uncertain, but reclaiming your power means believing in your potential despite the odds. To truly reclaim your power, surround yourself with positive influences. Choose relationships that uplift you, challenge you to grow, and encourage your authenticity. Distance yourself from negativity, even if it means letting go of long-standing connections that drain your spirit. Your environment plays a crucial role in how you perceive yourself and your potential. And make sure it nurtures your growth rather than hinders it. Mindfulness and self-care are vital components of reclaiming your power. Take time each day to reconnect with your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Practice meditation, journaling, or any activity that grounds you. Honor your emotions without letting them control you. Acknowledge your fears, but don't let them dictate your choices. Taking care of your mind and body is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Self-care is an act of reclaiming your worth, a declaration that you deserve to feel whole and balanced. Finally, embrace resilience. Life will continue to test you and challenges will arise. But now you know that your power does not lie in avoiding difficulties. It lies in facing them with grace and determination. Resilience is the strength to rise after every fall, to rebuild after every loss, and to keep moving forward even when the road is steep. Embrace challenges as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Reclaiming your power is not a one-time decision, but a continuous practice. This. It's choosing every day to honor yourself, to prioritize your well-being, and to stand firm in your worth. It's about knowing that you are deserving of love, respect, and happiness. No matter what you've been through or how others have tried to break you. Your power is your birthright, and no one can take it from you unless you allow it. Stand tall, speak your truth, and walk with confidence. You have come too far to let anyone or anything diminish your light. Up. Reclaim your power, nurture your spirit, and never forget that you are stronger than you know. You are worthy, powerful, and capable of achieving greatness. Let your journey of reclaiming your power be your greatest triumph. There comes a point when you realize that constantly fighting for someone's attention, validation, or respect is exhausting. You give so much of yourself, hoping that one day they'll finally see your worth. But the truth is, sometimes people don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. Sometimes the only way for them to understand your value is to let them feel the loss. It's not about seeking revenge or causing pain. It's about reclaiming your peace and allowing them to face the reality they created. Letting someone feel the loss doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It doesn't mean cutting ties out of spite or acting in ways that go against your nature. It's about stepping back and allowing them to experience life without the warmth, love, and support you once gave so freely. It's giving them the opportunity to understand that you are a blessing, not a burden, and that your presence brought more light to their world than they cared to admit. When you finally decide to walk away, it's not because you stopped caring or stopped loving. It's because you recognize that staying was hurting you more than it was helping them. You realize that your kindness was being taken for granted, your efforts overlooked, and your feelings disregarded. The hardest part is accepting that no amount of proving, convincing, or trying harder will make someone appreciate what they refuse to see. Letting them feel the loss means choosing yourself for once. It's about deciding that you deserve to be valued without begging for it. You deserve to be cherished without having to constantly remind someone of your worth. You deserve to be loved without conditions or limitations. Walking away is not an act of weakness. It's an act of strength, declaration that you will no longer settle for less than you deserve. Sometimes people grow so accustomed to your presence that they assume you'll always be there. They take comfort in the certainty that you'll never leave, no matter how poorly they treat you. They assume your loyalty will withstand any disregard or neglect. Letting them feel the loss means shattering that illusion. It means showing that your love is not an endless well they can dip into whenever they please. Your heart deserves to be nurtured, not exploited. You don't need to make grand gestures or dramatic exits to prove a point. You don't have to broadcast your departure or make them feel guilty. Just quietly remove yourself from situations that deplete your spirit. Stop making yourself available when they only reach out on their terms. Stop putting their needs above your own while your own heart breaks in silence. Let your absence speak for itself, louder than any words ever could. When they finally feel the emptiness left behind, they might begin to understand the gravity of their choices. They'll notice the lack of your unwavering support, your comforting presence, and your endless patience. They might come to realize that your laughter brightened their days, and your words lifted their spirits. They look around and notice the void where your kindness and loyalty used to be. It may take time, but eventually they'll see that they lost something truly irreplaceable. During this process, focus on your healing. Letting them feel the loss should not be about waiting for their realization or hoping they'll come running back. It's about choosing your peace over the chaos they brought into your life. Take time to nurture yourself, to rediscover your passions, and to reconnect with your own dreams. Reclaim your happiness without tying it to their acknowledgement or regret. Embrace the freedom that comes with walking away. You no longer have to wonder if you're good enough or if your efforts are being noticed. You no longer have to constantly fight for a place in their life. You are free to focus on your own growth, to give your energy to those who value you, and to build a life filled with genuine connections. Eventually, you may find that their realization comes too late. By the time they grasp what they lost, you will have moved on, stronger and wiser. You'll look back not with bitterness, but with gratitude for the lessons learned. You will understand that your worth was never diminished by that inability to see it. You were always valuable, always deserving of love and respect, regardless of their perception. It's not your responsibility to teach someone to appreciate you. Sometimes the best lesson you can give is to remove yourself from situations where your value is questioned. You don't need to explain your departure or justify your decision to choose yourself. So, let them come to their own conclusions, and if they regret losing you, that's for them to process, not for you to fix. Your peace is priceless, and your heart is too precious to be mishandled. Letting them feel the loss is not about punishing anyone, it's about protecting yourself. It's about giving yourself the space to heal and grow without the weight of unreciprocated effort. You are worthy of love that comes freely, without conditions or doubts. We deserve to be chosen without hesitation. Move forward with your head held high, knowing that you gave your best, loved deeply, and remain true to yourself. There's no shame in walking away from situations that drain your spirit. You have the right to protect your heart and surround yourself with those who uplift you. The loss is theirs to feel, not yours to carry. You are stronger than you realize, and your worth does not depend on anyone's validation. Embrace the journey ahead with confidence, knowing that you made the brave choice to let go of what no longer served you. Let them feel the loss while you move forward with renewed strength and unwavering self-respect. You owe it to yourself to find happiness beyond the pain and to build a life where you are valued without question. Pain is an inevitable part of life, but it doesn't have to define who you are. It can break you down, make you question your worth, and leave you feeling lost. But pain also holds the potential to be transformed into something powerful, something that fuels your growth and shapes your purpose. Turning pain into purpose is not about pretending it never happened or dismissing how deeply it hurt. It's about using that pain to ignite a fire within you to build something meaningful out of the ashes of what once was. Starts with acknowledging the pain without shame. So often we are taught to suppress our hurt, to mask it with forced smiles and reassuring words. But healing begins with honesty. Allow yourself to feel every emotion, anger, sadness, confusion. Sit with your pain instead of running from it. Understand where it comes from and why it affects you so deeply. This is not weakness, it's courage. It takes strength to face your pain head-on and confront the scars that remain. Once you have given yourself permission to feel, take a moment to reflect on what this pain has taught you. It may have revealed your resilience, your capacity to endure hardships, or your ability to rebuild even when everything feels shattered. Perhaps it showed you the importance of setting boundaries or taught you how to value yourself more deeply. These lessons are gifts hidden within the struggle, and they become the foundation upon which you rebuild your purpose. Choosing to turn pain into purpose means refusing to let it be the final chapter of your story. It's about rising above the hurt and using it as motivation to pursue something greater. Maybe it pushes you to help others who are going through similar struggles. Your pain might become the inspiration behind a project, a passion, or a mission to make a difference. When you use your experiences to uplift others, you transform your own suffering into a beacon of hope. Purpose does not always emerge overnight. Sometimes it takes time to see how your pain can be used for good. Be patient with yourself. Healing is a journey, and along the way, you will discover new strengths and uncover talents you never knew you had. Let your pain guide you, not to a place of bitterness, but to a place of empowerment. Choose to see it as a catalyst for change rather than a burden to carry. One of the most beautiful aspects of turning pain into purpose is realizing that your story has the power to inspire. People are drawn to authenticity, and sharing your journey, your struggles, your triumphs, and everything in between creates a space where others feel less alone. Your vulnerability becomes your strength, and your openness becomes a lifeline for those who feel trapped in their own pain. Sometimes, just knowing that someone else has walked a similar path and emerged stronger can be the encouragement someone needs to keep going. Your strength. Finding purpose in pain also means refusing to let bitterness take root in your heart. It's easy to become resentful when life seems unfair or when you feel betrayed and broken. But holding on to that bitterness only prolongs your suffering. Choose forgiveness, not for the sake of those who hurt you, but for your own peace. Let go of anger, not because it wasn't justified, but because it no longer serves you. Free yourself from the grip of resentment so that you can move forward without the weight of the past dragging you down. Down. Redirect your focus from what was lost to what can be gained. Allow your pain to fuel your dreams rather than destroy them. Transform your heartbreak into determination, your frustration into passion, and your disappointment into drive. Use it as a reminder that you have already survived the hardest parts, and now it's time to thrive. Let your pain be the force that propels you toward your goals, reminding you that you are stronger than any obstacle in your path. To truly turn pain into purpose, practice self-compassion. It's easy to blame yourself for the hurt you endured or to question why you didn't do things differently. But self-blame only deepens the wound. Treat yourself with kindness and grace. Remind yourself that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Celebrate your progress, even if it feels small, and honor the courage it took to keep moving forward despite the pain. As you reclaim your power and transform your pain, remember that purpose is not about perfection. It's about growth, resilience, and the unwavering belief that you deserve happiness and fulfillment. Allow yourself to dream again, to set goals that excite you, and to pursue the life you truly deserve. Let go of the fear that past hurts will repeat themselves, and instead, embrace the possibility of new beginnings. Turning pain into purpose is not about forgetting or dismissing your struggles. It's about choosing to rise above them and using them as stepping stones to something greater. You are not just the product of your pain, you are the warrior who conquered it. Your purpose is shaped by your experiences, but it is not limited by them. Give yourself permission to live boldly, to love fearlessly, and to pursue your passions without hesitation. Allow your story to inspire others and to remind them that healing is possible. You have come too far to be held back by the pain of yesterday. Let it fuel your dreams and motivate your actions. Let it be the reason you keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain. You are more than what happened to you. You are the sum of your dreams, your ambitions, and your unbreakable spirit. Let your pain be a chapter in your story, not the whole book. Turn it into purpose and let that purpose guide you toward a future filled with strength, courage, and unshakable resilience. Your journey is not over, it's just beginning. And you have the power to write the next chapter with grace, wisdom, and purpose. Embracing your worth is one of the most profound acts of self-love you can commit to. It means recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are. It's about no longer measuring your value by external standards, opinions, or circumstances. It's about standing tall and owning the fact that you deserve to be loved, respected, and cherished, not because of what you do for others, but simply because you exist. This is a journey, not an overnight transformation. But the more you step into your worth, the more you begin to see the world and yourself through a lens of abundance and possibility. For so long, we have been conditioned to seek validation from others, to measure our worth by how much we give, how much we achieve, or how much we are needed. We tie our value to the opinions and actions of those around us, allowing them to determine our sense of self-worth. But the truth is, no one else can define your value. It is intrinsic to who you are. You were born with an inherent worth that doesn't change based on your achievements, failures, or the approval of others. To embrace your worth, you must first let go of the need for external validation. It's not about being indifferent to feedback or constructive criticism, but rather about recognizing that your self-worth does not depend on whether someone praises you or ignores you. You are valuable because you exist, not because of your productivity or how others perceive you. The constant pursuit of external validation only leads to burnout and self-doubt. Choose to validate yourself. Be your own biggest supporter and advocate. Part of embracing your worth means practicing self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and beating ourselves up over every mistake or perceived flaw. But perfection is an illusion, and self-criticism only undermines your confidence. Embrace your imperfections, your quirks, and the things that make you uniquely you. These are the qualities that set you apart and make you valuable. Be kind to yourself. Recognize your efforts. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and forgive yourself when you fall short. Another essential part of embracing your worth is setting boundaries. Many of us struggle to assert our needs and say no when necessary because we fear disappointing others or being seen as selfish. But saying no is a form of self-respect. It's a way of honoring your energy, your time, and your well-being. When you set boundaries, you send a clear message to yourself and others that your needs are just as important as anyone else's. You teach people how to treat you by respecting yourself first. Setting boundaries is not about shutting others out. It's about creating space for yourself to thrive, to recharge, and to pursue what truly matters to you. Embracing your worth also means letting go of toxic relationships that drain your energy. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who see and appreciate you for who you are, and who encourage your growth. Your worth is not determined by how much you tolerate mistreatment or disrespect. If someone consistently undermines your value or takes you for granted, it is not your responsibility to prove your worth to them. You deserve to be in relationships where you are seen, heard, and valued. One of the most empowering things you can do when embracing your worth is to pursue your passions unapologetically. For too long, we've been taught to put others' needs first, to make ourselves small so others can shine. But your dreams, your passions, and your talents are just as important as anyone else's. Embrace what excites you, what challenges you, and what brings you joy. Do it not for validation, but because it fuels your spirit. Your worth is not defined by how much you give to others. It is defined by how much you honor yourself and your dreams. Another crucial aspect of embracing your worth is understanding that it is not tied to your past. Many of us carry the weight of our mistakes, regrets, and failures, allowing them to dictate how we view ourselves. But your past does not define you. You are not your mistakes, and you are not the sum of your past experiences. Each day is an opportunity to redefine yourself, to take what you've learned, and to grow into a stronger, wiser, more empowered version of yourself. Embrace the lessons your past has taught you, but let go of the guilt, shame, and self-judgment that hold you back from fully stepping into your worth. A vital part of embracing your worth is being able to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you have to endure discomfort or toxicity to prove your strength or loyalty. But true strength comes from knowing when to let go. Whether it's a job that drains you, a relationship that doesn't uplift you, or an environment that stifles your growth, walking away is a powerful affirmation of your worth. It's a declaration that you refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. Embracing your worth also means trusting yourself, trusting your instincts, your decisions, and your ability to navigate life's challenges. You are capable of far more than you give yourself credit for. Trust the journey, even when the path seems unclear, and trust that you have everything within you to create the life you desire. Lastly, embracing your worth is a continuous practice. It is a decision you make every day to choose yourself, to prioritize your well-being, and to never settle for less than you deserve. It's about shifting your mindset, recognizing that you are deserving of success and happiness, and choosing to act from a place of self-respect and confidence. You are worthy of everything you desire and more. Your worth is not negotiable, and it does not depend on anyone else's approval. Embrace your value, step into your power, and live your life with the knowledge that you are enough just as you are. The world needs you to show up as your authentic self, to honor your gifts, and to live fully in your truth. You are deserving of all the beauty and abundance life has to offer. It's time to embrace your worth and live with the confidence that you are enough always.